Hey, Magic friends, welcome back. This is Capnclyde speaking here on Capnclyde's MTG, and today we'll have a follow-up on the Alchemy video we had. Apparently now they're releasing Alchemy cards for every set that comes out. So before we get started, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, put some comments down below. It's going to feed that YouTube algorithm. In the description, if you've done everything you can, you still want to support, there's a link to the eBay store, the Patreon page, and my email. Hit me up. I might even be selling some boxes of new Capenna if you want to get on the bandwagon. So hit me up and we'll see if we can't work something out. Now, with that said, let's take a look at what Alchemy brings from Kamigawa. Anyway, I'm a professional. Don't try this at home. So, like we talked about in our previous video, shout out to Ray, or Ray. I can't remember. Sorry, I'm professional. Uh, Here's another reason why people are not going to like Alchemy is that now we have cards coming out only for Alchemy that we can't get to play in paper, which see the previous video, and why people have an issue with it. It changes the whole dynamic of the format, and it's really going to make Alchemy a digital-only playable format, because also the things that happen in Alchemy, like searching up cards and things like that, your opponent can't see, so you obviously can't do it in a paper game unless you reveal the cards so that people know you're not cheating. So, I think in the long run, what we're going to see is Alchemy become its own thing, and honestly, maybe even MTG uh, uses regular or Magic Online Arena, becomes a place to test decks, but mainly play Alchemy tournaments because you can only play them digitally, and no one wants to play tournaments online when they can just play in paper because it's funner. But anyway, so moving right along, let's take a look at the cards we got. In white, we have the Dragonfly Pilot. So for one white, you get a 1/1. When he comes into play, you get the 3/2 flying thingy put into your hand, which is a Dragonfly suit. Here we have the Inchblade Companion for one white and one. Equipped creature gets +1/+1. He reconfigures for 2. Whenever it becomes attached to a creature, create a token that's a copy of Inchblade Companion, except it doesn't have this ability. The ability triggers only once each turn. So yeah, that's just a bit much of just making dudes over and over again. Next, we have the Kami of Transmutation, a white one for a 2/2. When it enters or leaves the battlefield, wow, so you get this twice. Each permanent card in your hand perpetually becomes an artifact in addition to other types, or each permanent in your hand perpetually becomes an enchantment. For those of you who don't know, perpetually means that it becomes that, it stays that throughout the rest of the game, no matter what area it's in, even graveyard. Which is, again, what makes it hard to play this in paper, because you have to write all that down, and that also means you have to reveal it, so forth and so on, yada, yada, yada. So next we have 2 more white cards. Fragment Reality, 1 white instant, exile target non-token artifact, creature, or enchantment. Its controller puts a random creature card with lesser mana value from their library onto the battlefield. Again, something not doable in paper, really. Next, we have the Moth Rider Cavalry, 2 white and 2. It's a 4/4L. Creatures get +1/+1. Basically, it's a Crusade with legs, or technically wings in this one. If you have no other creature cards in your hand, it costs 2 less, so you literally could cast this for 2 as a 2/2 flyer for 2 white. That's busted. So yeah. All right, next, move on to blue. We have Better Offer. For X and blue sorcery, put a random creature card mana value X or less from target opponent's library onto the battlefield under your control. It perpetually has base power and toughness XX and perpetually gains ward 1. Wow, that's something. We have Sabana Siphoner, so 2 blue and 2 for a 2/2 with flash. Again, this one says if you have no instants or sorceries in your hand, it becomes 2 blue with flash. That's a bit much. When it enters the battlefield, return target instant or sorcery card from graveyard to your hand. If it would die, you shuffle it into your library instead. That's just great. It's not what we need. Experimental Pilot, 1 blue for a 1/1 ward 2. For a blue, discard 2 cards. You get to draft a card from the Pilot spellbook. Any cruise vehicles to power. That's as though he was 2 greater. So basically anything 3. And we'll look later in the spellbook stuff down below. Holographic Double for 1 blue. It's a 1/1. It says exile the double from your hand. Choose a creature card in your hand. It becomes a duplicate of it. That's So weird. Anyway, Futuristic Spell Thief, a blue and 2 for a 3/2. When it enters the battlefield, conjure a duplicate of target spell into your hand. That card perpetually gains. You may get perpetually gains. You may spend mana of any color to cast that spell. So basically, you can duplicate any spell into your hand that they cast. That seems a bit busted for blue already. Semblance Scanner, a blue and 2 for a 3/1. It has reconfigure 1. Whenever the scanner or equipped creature does combat damage to a player, if it's not a token, conjure a duplicate of it into your hand. Ugh. Whenever a Semblance Scanner or an equipped creature does combat damage, if it's not a token. Alright, so this thing just duplicates forever. That's fantastic. Thank you for that. Painful Bond, a black and 1 instant, draw 2 cards. Then cards in your hand with mana value 3 or greater perpetually gain. When you cast this spell, lose 1 life. Okay, so it's kind of a thing where you normally lose 2 life, or you normally lose 2 life to draw 2 cards. This only helps if it's in your hand. Interesting. However, this is going to be really big on cheap mono black decks. Anyhow, Swarm Saboteur, a black and 1 for a 2/1 with a Jitsu and Death Touch. When it deals combat damage to a player, conjure a card named Virus Beetle into your hand. For those of you who don't know, the Virus Beetle is a 1 black and 1. It comes into play, opponent discard a card. So, yeah. Kami of Mourning. So for a black and 2, you get 3/2 Kami. Spirit, whenever it enters the battlefield, target creature you control or creature card in your graveyard perpetually gains. Whenever a creature you control with greater mana value then this card dies, return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. If that ain't broke, I don't know what is. Because you can play this thing and put it on a 3 or a 2 spell and just let the shenanigans fly. Yeah. Alright, next here we have the Undercity Plunderer, a black and 1 sorcery. Target opponent discards a card. Then they may discard an additional card. If they don't, conjure a duplicate of a random card from their library into your hand. It gains, you may spend mana as any color. So again, a discard spell that will gain you a spell. This just is busted. Soul Servitude, black and 2 instant. Target player sacrifices a non-token creature. Keywords there, non-token. So when they do, you may discard a card. If you do, conjure a duplicate of the sacrificed creature into your hand. It gains, spend mana as any color. So does black just steal everybody's stuff now? Yeah, anyway. Consuming Oni. So for a black and 2, you get a 6/6. Flying Menace at the beginning of your end step. A random non-land card in your hand perpetually gains. When you cast this spell, lose 3 life. That sounds like it might be cool, but if you ain't got no cards in your hand, it doesn't matter. So busted. Man. See how bad red is. Artillery Enthusiast. 1 red for a 1/1. Modified creatures you control have Menace. When it enters the battlefield, you may discard a card. If you do, seek a card with the same mana value equal to that card's mana value. That's different. Foundry Beetle. Red and 1 for a 2/2. It has first strike. That's already busted. The equipped creature has first strike. It taxes for 1 red. Beginning of your upkeep, a random artifact card in your hand perpetually gains this spell. Costs 1 less. Oh, good God. This is what we need. Is more of that crap. Junkyard Scrapper. Red and 2. For a 3/3, whenever a non-token artifact enters the battlefield under your control, exile a random non-land artifact card with lesser mana value from your library. You may cast that card until the end of your next turn. Jesus. Yeah, this ain't just Goblin Pile Driver on drugs of some kind that I won't mention because I don't want to be blacklisted. But anyway, we have Bellows Breath Ogre, red and 2 for a 3/3, starting intensity 1. Okay. So whenever Bellows Ogre attacks, it deals damage equal to its intensity to any target. Then perpetually gains its intensity by 1. So that's, yeah. So first it attacks for 3 and then does 1. Then it attacks for 3 and does 2 and so forth and so on. That's disgusting. Molten Impact for red and 1. You have a sorcery, deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If excess damage was dealt this way, you may cast your next instant or sorcery spell. Molten Impact deals damage. If excess damage is dealt this way, when you cast your next instant or sorcery spell, Molten Impact deals damage equal to the excess to target creature or planeswalker. Okay, so if you hit something for 2, then later for 2 mana you hit something for 6. This is just busted. Oh, look, a Phoenix. This ought to be great. Forgeborn Phoenix. 2 red and 1 for a 2/2 flyer. Oh, it equips even better. So equipped creature has flying, attacks for 1 red, or attaches for 1 red. When the equipped creature dies, it gains whenever an equipped creature you control deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker. Return this card to the graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So great, this makes all your stuff come back once this thing punches someone in the face, or something this thing is attached to. That sounds disgusting. Alright, how bad's green? So, combi of Bamboo Groves, 1 green for a 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. That's just fantastic. Nothing like speeding up ramp. For 3 mana, discard the Bamboo Groves, conjure 2 cards named Forest into your hand. So, alright, just the ramp that Mom always wanted. Chronicler of Worship, a green and 1 for a 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, put a random shrine card from among the top 7 cards of your library into your hand. It perpetually gains this spell cost 1 less to cast and shuffle. Disgusting. Beseiju Pathfinder. So here's something I thought was really nice. So for a green and 2, when it enters the battlefield, draft a card from Beseiju Spellfinder's spellbook. We'll look at that here in a minute, but I'll just give you a little heads up on that. It's a land card. Anyway, so next we have the Joku Liberator, a green and 2 for a 3/3 ninjutsu 2. When it deals combat damage to the player, choose a non-land permanent, choose a land or non-land permanent. Seek a permanent card of that chosen type. That's disgusting. Runaway Grove, green and 2 aura, starting intensity 1, enchant land. Whenever the land is tapped for mana, its controller adds 1 additional mana. Adds an additional amount of green equal to Runaway Grove's intensity, then it gains intensity. Yeah, okay, whatever. Forceful Cultivator, what could this be? So 2 green and 2 for a 2/3. Spell costs 2 less to cast if no lands in your hand. Forceful Cultivator enters the battlefield. Search your library for a basic land card. Put that onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle. That's just disgusting. Start with 2 land in your hand. Hey, don't you worry. If you don't draw another one, this card will make sure you do at 2. As you get a 2/3 and a land out of it. That's disgusting. Multicolor. So I played with this thing. We have the Imperial Blade Master, a white, red, and 1. It's a 2/2 with double strike. Disgusting. And whenever you attack with a samurai or warrior alone, you have to draft a card from it. So basically you draw a card. For 3 mana, this thing's impossible to kill unless you zap it, because you ain't blocking it. So with all that said, let's take a look at what we can get from the draft cards. So, Beseiju Pathfinder, here we go. Like I mentioned, guys, lots of lands, Field of Ruins, Bonder's Enclave, Radiant Fountain, Thriving Grove, Treasure Vault, Gingerbread Cabin, whenever it comes up. Anyway, Memorial to Unity, Beseiju, Secluded Courtyard, Roadside Reliquary, Scavenger Grounds, Emergency Zones, Kalania Garden, Mobilized District, Hall of Oracles, for the love of God. So there's that. Alright, so Expendable Pilot. What does it give you? Let's take a look. Cultivator's Caravan. You know, when you need mana and still want to punch him in the face. Bowmat Bazaar. Yeah, it comes into play. Draw a card. Raiders Caravan. Yeah, 4/4. You know, land from top of your deck. Demolition Stomper. You know, just punch you in the face and kill you. Futurist Sentinel. 6/6. Punch you in the face and kill you. Mech Titan Core. The beginning of Voltron, in case you didn't know. Reckoner Bankbuster, which is just I want to draw cards on crack. There goes the money. Anyway, the High-Speed Hover Bike, which taps stuff when it comes in. Mindlink Mech, which is a 4/3, which makes you crew other things. Silent Submersible, 2/3. When it deals damage, draw a card. Mobile Garrison, just punch you in the face really hard while tapping stuff down. The Untethered Express, show it to me. 4/4 that just gets bigger. It's the Overchase Dragster, which once it comes in, it ain't got to be crewed. You just punch people in the face with it. Daredevil Dragster. More punching in the face. Thunder Chariot, because why not? First Strike, Trample, Haste. So that's all the great things this thing will give you. Just everything you could ever want that it can crew itself. So yeah, great times. So the Blade Master, I've seen some of these, but let's walk through them anyway. Iganjo Exemplar, the guy that says, well, you can't see it, it's not coming. There it is. When he attacks alone, gets +1/+1, just what you need for a double striker. Also, you have the Imperial Subduer, Come on. You know, where you attack alone, you get to tap a creature so they can't block the double striker. You have the Ancestral Katana. Come on now. Basically, when they attack you for 1, you get to slap this on it, you know. So now instead of a 2/2 double striker, you have a 4/3. Selfless Samurai, you know, for when you want to attack and not die because you can sacrifice this so it's indestructible. We have the Poet, so you can cast enchantments from your graveyard, because why not when you attack alone with the Samurai or Warrior. The Aki Ronin, you know, attacks alone, you may discard a card. If you do, you can draw a card. Peerless Samurai, this is probably not one of the best ones. The next warrior, when you attack, the next warrior spell costs 1 less. Do you have Hiko Yamazaki, the General? Show me the card. You know, this one, when you attack alone, you may cast target artifact card from your graveyard this turn. The Aspirin Captain, which is basically whenever they attack alone, they get +1/+1 to end a turn. For each samurai or warrior you control, even better when you have a double striker. Iganjo Uprising, you know, just for when you need to make about, you know, 22/2s with haste and menace. Come on. Yeah, there you go. Eater of Virtue, you know, for when you need to, for 2 mana, give it a +2/+0 to your double striker. And then when it dies, now anything you equip has double strike. Yeah, good times. Sunblade of the Samurai. Again, this guy, you can just fetch him so you can go get land. Put it in your hand and gain 2 life. Ugh. Reinforced Ronin, of course, so you can attack with him, or if you just need to draw some cards. Adamant Will for the kill, if you will. You know, you can attack, and if this card comes up, just take it, make him a 4/4, hit him for 8, you can't kill it. And then you have, finally, Temper and Solitude, where when he attacks alone, not only can you get cards off of him, but you can exile cards off top your library and play them this turn. Good. Because that's what we need in our life. So those are the cards. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to take a look. Go back, stop the video if you have any questions. But this is one of the reasons why a lot of people don't like Alchemy. You can't play it in paper. You can't tell if it's cheating. It is a whole bunch of randomness. And sometimes too much random is just not fun. So, thanks a lot for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. Until next time, be kind. And as always, I hope to see you across from the game table.